Okay, the first question is when a Microsoft Entra user connects to Microsoft Entra from the internet using an anonymous IP address, you'd like that user to be automatically required to change their password. So, which Microsoft Entra feature should you use to set this? Options are Microsoft Entra Connect Health, Microsoft Entra Privileged Identity Management, Azure Advanced Threat Protection, Microsoft Entra Identity Protection. And the correct answer is so it's Microsoft Entra Identity Protection. Okay, let's see the explanation for this. Okay, so option 4 is the correct choice. That is the Microsoft Entra Identity Protection. Can be utilized to enforce password changes for users accessing the internet from anonymous IP addresses. Microsoft Entra Identity Protection consists of three key components: automating the detection and resolution of identity related risk, investigating risks through the portal's data, exporting risks detection data to other tools. Let's see the other options. So option 1 is incorrect here. Microsoft Entra Connect Health is designed for monitoring identity governance or on-premises identity infrastructure and does not fulfill the requirement for this scenario. The Microsoft Entra Connect Health portal provides alerts, performance monitoring, usage analytics, and other important information. Option 2 is also not applicable. So option 2 is privileged identity management. In Microsoft Entra offers just-in-time access, protection against malicious activities, and real-time review of privileged roles, but it does not meet the requirement for this case. Option 3 is also not applicable. Azure Advanced Threat Protection is a service that safeguards organizations against security threats and identity breaches, but it does not fit the requirements for this scenario. Below are the references, and this question belongs to this domain. Describe Azure management and governance. Let's go to the next question. Second question is which of the following statements regarding the cost of using the Azure cloud is correct? First option, Azure offers flexibility on capital expenditure CapEx and operating expenditure OpEx. Second option, if you create two Azure virtual machines of the same size, the monthly usage fee for each virtual machine will be exactly the same. Third option, if you stop an Azure virtual machine, you don't have to pay for the storage associated with the virtual machine. Fourth option, Azure support can help you identify unused resources that can be deleted. So let's see the correct answer. Okay, the correct answer is Azure offers flexibility on capital expenditure and operating expenditure. Let's see the explanation for this. So option 1 is the correct answer. Cloud services like Azure offer the flexibility to align system costs from capital expenditure to operational expenditure. For example, the cost of data center equipment, which would normally mean the purchasing of physical servers, is a capital expenditure. However, by launching virtual servers on Azure, it is possible to convert capital expenditure into operational expenditure. Now, option 2 is incorrect. Two Azure virtual machines of the same size do not always have the same monthly cost. This is because the price of the virtual machine depends on the region where it is located and the size used. Each region in Azure has different costs. Option 3 is also incorrect. So even if you shut down or Azure virtual machine, you will continue to be charged for storage costs if you don't stop this storage. Option 4 is incorrect. Azure Advisor informs you of unused resources that can be removed from use. So the reference link is given here, and this question belongs to domain. Describe cloud concept. So let's go to the third question. The question is, you are building an application using Azure virtual machines. As a security requirement at that time, it is necessary to apply Azure multi-factor authentication MFA based on certain conditions. So which Azure service should you choose for this? The options are Azure Monitor, Microsoft Defender for Cloud, Microsoft Entra ID Protection, Microsoft Defender for Identity. And the correct answer is Microsoft Entra ID Protection. Explanation. So option 3 is the correct answer. With Microsoft Entra Identity Protection, you can enforce MFA condition using user authentication. Microsoft Entra Identity Protection is also used for risk detection. Specifically, it can detect anonymous IP address logins, unfamiliar sign-ins, compromised credentials, and more. Microsoft Entra multi-factor authentication uses a username, password, and other factors to enforce user authentication. This provides a second layer of security when users sign in. In order for the user to be able to respond to their MFA prompts, the user must first be signed up for Microsoft Entra multi-factor authentication. Combine multi-factor authentication with Microsoft Entra Identity Protection for more secure settings such as conditional MFA. Option 1 is incorrect. Azure Monitor is a service that collects application monitoring data about the performance and functionality of the code you write, regardless of platform. This answer does not meet the requirements of this case. Option 2 is incorrect. Microsoft Defender for Cloud is an integrated infrastructure security management system that strengthens your data center security situation. This is a threat prevention feature that can add protection across hybrid workloads in the Azure cloud and on-premises environments. This answer does not meet the requirements of this case. Option 4 is incorrect. Microsoft Defender for Identity is used to monitor and analyze network-wide user activity and information such as permissions and group membership. This answer does not meet the requirements of this case. Reference link is here, and this question belongs to domain. Describe Azure management and governance. Let's go to the next question. Fourth question is, please select an option to fill in the blank below. So which provides a command platform for deploying objects to your cloud infrastructure and maintaining consistency across your Azure environment. Options are Azure Policy, Resource Group, Azure Resource Manager, and Management Group. Let's see the correct answer. So the correct answer is Azure Resource Manager. Azure Resource Manager is a service that manages the creation, operation, update, and deletion of Azure resources to maintain consistency across your Azure environment. Protect deployed Azure resources with management features such as access control, locking, and tags for Azure resources. Azure Resource Manager deploys objects to your cloud infrastructure and maintains consistency across your Azure environment. So option 1 is incorrect. Azure Policy is a function that sets and evaluates rules for compliance when an organization uses Azure resources. Evaluate resources in Azure by comparing their properties against business rules. Option 2 is incorrect. A resource group is a group that manages related resources of an Azure solution. Option 4 is incorrect. A management group is a group for integrated management of multiple subscriptions. When you combine multiple subscriptions into a management group, any governance condition you apply will cascade through inheritance to all associated subscriptions. So the preference link is here, and if this question belongs to domain describe Azure management and governance. Let's go to the fifth question. You plan to extend your company's network to Azure as a hybrid cloud. In the on-premises environment, a VPN appliance with an IP address of 136.168.103.1 is used, and it is necessary to identify this VPN appliance on the Azure side. Which is the best solution for that? Options are route table, application gateway, load network gateway, and network interface. And the correct answer is local network gateway. So the explanation is a local network gateway can be used to specify the IP address of the VPN device for your virtual network. This allows Azure to identify the VPN appliance using the IP address 136.168.103.1. Other options are a route table, which is incorrect. A route table is used for routing information saved in a router. This is a table to refer to when performing routing processing. It does not identify the IP address of the VPN appliance. Option 2, application gateway is incorrect. Application gateway are used to load balance traffic to various web applications. It does not identify the IP address of the VPN appliance. Option 4, network interface is incorrect. Network interfaces allow Azure virtual machine to communicate with Internet Azure and on-premises used resources. It does not identify the IP address of the VPN appliance. This question belongs to domain describe Azure architecture and service. Sixth question. Please select an option to fill in the blank below. A resource group. My AZ-900 has an Azure Virtual Network VNet-A. If you assign an Azure policy that specifies that my AZ-900 is not allowed to create or update virtual networks, then what we can fill in the blanks. So the options are VNet-A will be automatically removed. VNet-A is automatically moved to another resource group. Third option, VNet-A continues to function normally. And fourth option, VNet-A becomes a read-only object. The correct answer is VNet-A continues to function normally. Explanation is the Azure policy does not affect pre-applied configuration. So in this case, VNet-A was already created before the Azure policy was created, so it works fine with or without the policy. However, my AZ-900 does not allow virtual network creation after the policy is applied. Azure policy is a function that sets and evaluates rules for compliance when an organization uses Azure resources. Evaluate resources in Azure by comparing their properties against business rules. So this question belongs to domain describe Azure management and governance. Next question. Your company is using a serverless application to automate the data registration process. Which Azure service should you use? First is Azure App Service, second Azure Functions, third Azure DevOps, and fourth Azure Monitor. And the correct answer is Azure Functions. Azure Function is a serverless platform that allows you to build applications with just code without server settings. You can build event-driven applications. Users can execute simple work processing applications such as data registration processing simply by setting the execution code in Azure Function. Let's see the other options. First option, Azure App Service is incorrect. Azure App Service is a fully managed development platform for building, deploying, and scaling web apps. Option 3, Azure DevOps is incorrect. Azure DevOps is a service for deployment and operations that enables DevOps work using the latest set of development services. Option for Azure Monitor is incorrect. Azure Monitor is a monitoring service for monitoring applications, infrastructure, and networks on Azure. And this question belongs to domain describe Azure architecture and services. Let's go to question 8. You want to deploy multiple web servers and multiple database servers in Azure as a security measure. It is necessary to restrict traffic so that only the web server can connect to the database server. Which solutions should you use? First, Azure Service Bus. Second, Azure DDoS Protection. Third, route filter. And fourth, Azure Virtual Network with network security groups. And the correct answer is Azure Virtual Network with network security groups. Let's see the explanation. So the Azure Network Security Groups can be used to filter network traffic between Azure resources within a virtual network. A network security group contains security rules that allow or deny inbound and outbound network traffic between resources. You can specify the source and destination, port and protocol for each rule. Let's see the other options. So Azure Service Bus is incorrect. It is a fully managed enterprise message broker with message queues and publish/subscribe topics. Option 2, Azure DDoS protection is incorrect. DDoS protection is a service that provides always on monitoring and automatic network attack mitigation. It protects your Azure resources from DDoS attacks. Option 3 is incorrect. A route filter is a new resource that lets you select the list of services you plan to consume through Microsoft peering. This question belongs to domain describe Azure architecture and services. Let's see the ninth question. Select yes if the following statement is true, otherwise select no. Statement is data stored in an Azure storage account is automatically copied twice. So let's see the correct answer. The correct answer is no. The data in Azure storage accounts is always replicated 3 times in the primary region. Azure storage accounts copy data 3 times within the primary region and keeps them in sync. Data is also asynchronously copied to the secondary region. In both storage types, locally redundant storage LRS and zone redundant storage ZRS, the data is copied 3 times. Locally redundant storage LRS synchronously copies data 3 times in one physical location in the primary region. LRS is the least expensive replication option but is not recommended for applications that require high availability or durability. Zone redundant storage copies data synchronously across 3 Azure availability zones in the primary region. This question belongs to domain describe Azure architecture and services. Let's see the 10th question. Okay. Okay. So the 10th question is your company utilizes multiple regions to deploy Azure virtual machines. It is a company policy that users at each office create Azure resources only in the region that is closest to the office. What is the best solution to ensure these rules are followed? First is resource group, second is compliance policy, third is use Azure policy to enforce location-based restrictions on resource creation, and fourth is the Azure rule. And the correct answer is use Azure policy to enforce location-based restriction on resource creation. Explanation is Azure policy enforces rules that evaluate compliance based on your organization standard. You can apply an Azure policy to a management group or resource group that limits the space available for resource creation. By applying policies to management groups, subscription, and resource groups, you can control the specific groups as a whole. This policy allows a resource creation only in a specific region. You can define and enforce a policy that users in each office create user resources only in the region closest to their office. And this question belongs to domain describe Azure management and governance. We will discuss the other 10 questions in the part 2 video. Thanks for watching this question and answer, and if you like the question and answer, then please subscribe to my channel for more and more MCQ question answer. Like and